Welcome to the Middle-Raged Podcast, where your hosts, Adam and Keith, get a bit cross about stuff that really doesn't matter. Bless them. Oh, and we should probably warn you that things can be a bit sweary at times.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Middle-Raged Podcast with me, Adam Eccles, and my co-host, Keith A. Pearson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That was a bit sprightly, wasn't it?
Oh dear, we should tone back on that. Yeah, bloody hell.
Can I say something before we start?
Go on.
It's now the 27th of January.
Yes, it is.
And I'd like to say Happy New Year.
Isn't there a statute of limitations on that? Like,
I'd say the 2nd of January.
yeah, at least, yeah. I mean, yeah.
It does feel an unnecessary amount of... If you think about this, how many work hours are stolen in early January when people are composing emails that have to include the first line? Firstly, Happy New Year.
HNY is the acceptable thing. Yeah, but yeah. Did you have a nice Christmas? Fuck off. Like, come on. No, it didn't. Anyway.
Did you have a good Christmas? I'm guessing not.
Even if I did, though, the thing is, it doesn't matter. It's none of their business. Work.
It's just a variation on how are you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people don't really give a shit. And when you answer that question, you're going to lie on you. Nobody really wants to know that,
Yeah, everything's shit. And yeah.
Anyway, so here we are now in January.
Here we are, rocking and rolling into 2024. All right.
I think we should apologise for the tardiness of this.
I suppose so. Yeah, it's been a long month. January is the longest month, isn't it? It's 38,000 days, I think it is, isn't it? So.
There's still one Monday to go, would you believe? I mean, it feels like we've had 9 or 10 Mondays in January already, and we've got yet another one to come before we roll into February.
It's a bit excessive, isn't it? Yes.
Oh, it's just... But I'm going to have to hold my head up and take the blame for our tardiness in getting this episode together, because I've been... And the editing process of my latest book, and as I'm sure Adam will attest, it's an all-consuming period of abject tedium and frustration editing a book.
It is, but you're nearly there, though, aren't you?
I'm just about done. So the bulk of it's already gone off to my editor, and I'm just working on the epilogue now. But that's there or thereabouts. So I don't know. People seem to assume that you get to the end of a book and write the end, and there's this sort of then pour yourself a glass of something. It never ever works like that, does it?
No, I find that's when the bulk of the work starts, right? Because you got. Yeah, all the cover and blurb and, oh God, blurb, don't remind me. Yeah.
But it's normally, it's like putting a jigsaw together where you don't even have all the pieces. So there is no sort of, especially when you're working to a deadline, you've just got to do stuff when you can do it. It's not a case of being able to sort of just sort of let time go. And then, you hit a particular point where you I don't know, you've got brain fog. You think, oh, just dick around for a few weeks. You can't do that. You've then got to shift and do something else with that time, and then go back to that problem, whatever it was. And it's it is like herding cats.
Yes, it is, and it's the life of a writer, man. It's so glamorous,
isn't it? Just yeah, isn't it? Just so My apologies to those of you who have been waiting with bated breath for this episode.
Indeed. Well. Here we are now, so hopefully you're satisfied.
Right. Strange choice of word.
Indeed. Right, so we should get on with a quick roasting, right? So this is where a lovely listener gives us a shout out or sends us £5 or something on buymeacoffee.com/middle-raised. Have I got that right?
You have.
So. And you can donate some of your hard-earned to us to help with the running of the pod, which is unnaturally expensive. You wouldn't believe, but anyway,
and we should, and we'll keep it ad free. Not that anyone's ever going to pay us money for advertising, but we like to leave that there as an incentive, or a threat.
A threat. But, yeah. Do you want to hear us talking about mattresses for an hour? And
we must do that one time.
Yeah.
We just pick a product and see if we could actually do a proper advert.
We should. We could do our own. What's it called? The coffee cup.
Oh, the Gold Blend coffee advert from the 80s.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that would work with us too, though.
Probably not. No, we're modern. No, okay, never mind. So we have one left over.
A straggler.
Yeah. So Scott Davies, thank you very much for your shout out or donation. I can't remember which it was.
It was a shout. Yes, it was a tweet.
Okay.
Are we calling them tweets still? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What else could it be? An X. I
believe the term is post, but that just sounds a bit too generic.
Yeah.
So,
no. Okay. Well, so I suppose we should explain in case anyone's forgotten. So, yes, we will take your name alone, no other information about you, and come up with a character that could be in a book based on your name. So it may be a good guy or a bad guy or something in between. Or
it's usually bad, though, isn't it? Let's be frank.
I mean, realistically, it's
a roasting.
Not ideal. So. Oh, right. So Scott Davies, I thought he's the founding member of the Scott Davies Experience musical group, which is lounge jazz, obviously.
Okay.
But his thing is that he plays double bass and jazz piano at the same time. He's very talented. I don't know how he does it, but he does.
I don't know why he does it.
Yeah, well. They never really made it in the UK, but they have toured extensively in Belgium in the 90s and the 2000s.
Hotbed of piano jazz.
Oh yeah. Their eclectic style was lapped up by the locals. So yeah, they enjoyed a Belgium fan base.
Okay. Is he still living off this fan base?
Well, the band broke up in 2008, though, when Archie, the drummer, spontaneously combusted at a gig. Because, it was an outside gig and they had those, those outside heater things.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd had a few too many of the Belgian ales, which are very high percentage alcohol, right? So, unfortunately, he went up in flames. And so they didn't have a drummer then after that. So that was the end of the Scott Davies Experience musical group. And so Scott now has a small custom steelworks factory near Royal Tunbridge Wells.
You've given this far too much thought.
I know. He's doing pretty well, though, but he always wears this awful orange and green rainproof cagoule. You know those fucking things?
Yeah.
And it makes this shh noise every time he moves, which drives his wife absolutely fucking crazy. But, he never gets a wet shirt.
When you say it drives his wife absolutely, quote, fucking crazy.
Yes.
That could be interpreted in one of two ways. Am I guessing that it's in an annoying sense rather than it gets makes her frisky?
I mean,
frisky.
It's orange and green, and it's,
okay.
I would imagine it's annoyed rather than hot.
What's an aphrodisiac?
Hot under the collar.
Okay.
I mean, you never know, though. Now you mention it, it's possible. So maybe that's why he wears it.
Do you think he wears it? Does he keep it on? Does Mrs. Davies insist he keeps it on during the act?
It's going to make that shh noise. Though.
Well, maybe that's her thing. It's like AMSR of some.
Oh yeah, ASMR, or whatever it is. Yeah. So that
she finds the shuffle of the polyester kind of relaxing, or
Yes. But me personally, it drives me fucking mad when people have those shirts, like, jackets or whatever. Fucking hate those things. But anyway, but he never gets wet when he's out in the rain. So
this just does though.
Fine. Yes.
Sorry.
So thank you, Scott. There you go.
Okay. Well, I've been far more base in mine and put in, as you'll probably be able to tell, very little research. So Scott Davies, definitely he was the cool kid at secondary school in the 80s.
Yeah.
Went out with Jackie Hill. Just going to go with that name.
Right.
They were like the couple, like the
popular kids.
Yeah, like Sandy and Thingy in Greece, Danny in Greece. So they were the cool kids.
Right.
And then you have a reunion 25 years down the line, and Scott Davies just turns out to be he's touching obese, lost all his hair. On his second marriage is already done.
Yeah.
Never sees his kids, and everyone takes huge amounts of satisfaction.
Yes.
In seeing his popularity is star wane.
I suppose that's why I've never been to a school reunion. don't want to do that, but yeah, I wasn't obviously.
I was going to say, were you the Danny Zucco of your comprehensive school?
I was the who the fuck is that guy? And no. School, God dear, no, absolutely the opposite of the popular kid me.
Okay. Sorry, Scott. Yeah, you're. That's all I can say. I reckon he's also ends up using one of those. Have you noticed? There's an awful lot of people that are way too young to be using these electric scooters. Do you know what I mean? They're about these electric mobility scooter things.
Oh,
and you see people zipping around town centres on them.
Do you?
Yeah, and these are like, you think, hold on, you're my age. I went to school with you. And you do question, they're generally a bit porky, and you think, are you using that because you have a genuine disability? In which case,
fair enough.
It's very, that is fair enough. And sorry, that's not, it's not great. But, or is it because you're just lazy?
Yeah, I have a feeling it could be that. Well, so I haven't witnessed this phenomenon. That seems like an American thing to me. Like, you see those people have those Walmart scooters things and drive around in Walmart and, load up with 37 2-litre bottles of Dr. Pepper.
And you go, okay, I see the problem here.
Yeah. Diabetes. Yeah. No, I haven't.
We should probably, we're going to start sounding slightly classist here if we go down this route. But we know who we're talking about, don't we?
Yeah.
So I can see certainly Scott Davies would have ended up
with
trundling around town, can of Stella in one hand, cigarette in the other, drunk at 11 in the morning.
Yeah, maybe. And I've heard that this happens in small town America, right? Is that people have lost their license because of, what's it called, the DUI?
Oh, yeah. Driving under the influence.
And so they can't drive a car anymore, but they can still drive a lawnmower. And so there's like a crowd of lawnmower dudes driving around with a beer.
Wow. Do you know what? Something that cropped up on Facebook the other day. Do you remember back in, I think it was the 70s, okay, there were these invalid cars. They were pale blue, 3-wheelers. Do you remember these things?
Not really, no.
Okay, maybe it was a localized thing. They were sort of everywhere around
Why
here.
did they have 3 wheels?
Well, because you could use them without having a license. They're a bit like a Reliant Robin.
Were they battery powered?
Do you know what?
Float?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never driven one, so
one.
I wouldn't swear. But actually, if anyone else remembers these pale blue little things, do let us know, because I'm wondering if maybe I had some sort of. Were they a localized thing, or were they a national thing? But anyway, so
I don't know.
There we are. So, thank you, Scott. I think that's
you're
suitably roasted, sir.
Roasted and cooked. Yes, fair enough. Okay. So, Keith, how many bottles do you take into the shower?
Well, technically none, because they're already there.
Yeah.
I mean, who is emptying their bathroom every time they go
I did always wonder about, like, where are you taking them? Like, why do you live in a shared house or something that you have to hide your products in your bedroom and only bring them into the shower? But I don't know.
But in answer to your question, are we talking about hair products here?
I guess so. Yeah, all of those sort of products that you use in your bathing ritual, whatever.
Okay, so probably about 6.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, the other question is then, do they remain standing up?
Well, okay. No. In fact,
you see,
it's a bit. They are the bane of my life.
So, and this is what I am enraged about, right? Plastic bottles, shampoo bottles, conditioner bottles,
Shower gel,
yeah, and it doesn't. It goes out into the kitchen as well, right? So the kitchen spray, all of those things, all of these bottles, I think, are designed by bastards, basically. And so here's why, right? So first of all, you got like I have long curly hair, right? And I'm not going to go into that, but that means that I need lots of hair products, right? And I've tried every fucking hair product under the sun. But anyway, that's, I'm cursed with curly hair, and what can you do, right? But all of these bottles, right? So the conditioner especially, I guess because it's thicker, right? It won't let you get, like 25% of the product out of the bottle. So lately, I've noticed, I guess, like a stiffening of the plastic. And you can't squeeze it. You just can't squeeze the bloody bottle. And so, you're crunching it. Like, I mean, I'm a dude and strong hands, right? But I imagine if you're a small woman and you're trying to squish one of these bottles, good luck. It's just not going to happen. So you can't squish it. And even if you could, like, even if you smash it with a hammer, there's just the design of these bottles is just so that there's just loads of it left inside, right? And so I try G-force, right? So you hold at the end of your extended arm, and revolve your arm extremely fast, right? And that shoves it down to the spout end, but it still doesn't come out. And then you
I'm hoping that no one listening to this is actually trying to visualize it.
Yeah, but no, hopefully not. I mean, yeah, I'm in the shower or whatever, right? So yeah, don't think about that, Christ.
Vigorously shaking something.
Yeah. So you can't get it out. You can't squish it out. You can't force it out. So you think, okay, well, I'll take the top off. No, you can't get the bloody lids off. They're not screwed.
Welded on.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not screwed on anymore. They're sort of just, there's this weird fitting that, I don't know whether they heat seal it or something, but you cannot get the fucking lids off. And then
essentially, so all you've got is a hole which is normally about 2 millimeters across for the product to come out.
Squish out, yeah. And so what do you do? If you can somehow cut the lid off with an industrial saw, then
you're taking a lot into the shower.
Yeah, well,
hacksaw,
hammer,
sledgehammer,
a mangle. I haven't used one of those though. Those are blasts from the past, aren't they? So you can't get the bloody product out, right? So that's the main thing that pisses me off. The second thing then is that some of them are designed to be sort of standing up with the lid at the bottom.
Yes.
And fair enough. You'd think that would be a good thing, except that the shape of the bottle isn't really designed to be sort of that way up, and so you put it down, and a breath of wind from you wafting your hand part knocks it over, and of course there's 6 other products there, so they all fall over.
It's like dominoes.
Yeah, And, there's not really a lot of space in your typical bath or shower area to put stuff, right? Like, you've got those metal rack things, with loads of holes.
Yeah, never big enough.
Never big enough. Nothing ever stands up anyway. And then these things just so badly designed, right?
You say badly, but I have a theory, because this is something I've noticed with shower gel, that when you get down to the last bit, the typical way is before you get out of the shower, if you know you're getting low, you want to turn it upside down. So the last 10, 15, 20% of product will drip, because it's quite gloopy, isn't it, shower gel?
Yes.
So it will all gloop down to the end. So next time you have a shower, you open it up and you get to use it all.
Right.
But they design the packages, I think, deliberately, the bottles, so you cannot turn them up and just stand them on end.
That's it. Yep. They don't want you to have that last bit of product that you've paid for. And it just seems like they're deliberately, just want you to waste stuff so that you buy more. So, yeah.
Do you know how I've overcome this? Because what pissed me off is that a lot of these companies will then sort of shout about their green credentials.
Yes.
On the one hand, and how they're trying to be carbon neutral, all this sort of stuff. Yeah, everyone wants a better environment. Okay, so let's not get into the whole sort of that debate. But of course, nobody wants to be wasting packaging unnecessarily.
Indeed.
But you think, on the other hand, you're making this product as inaccessible as possible.
Yes. But, I mean, that is part of the rant, right, is that we make these bloody bottles out of plastic and they're shit. They don't need to be shit, right? You could make a shape that won't fall over, right? It's just bigger at the bottom than the top. And it could be squeezy that you, like a toothpaste tube that you can...
A nice spout.
Yeah, that you can get it all out. That's a song, isn't it? Spout.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tears for Fears, was it?
Something like that, yeah. Anyway, so get it out. And I think they just are primarily designed to look good on the Tesco shelf, right, rather than actually useful in your house. So form over function.
I've managed to overcome this because, in one sense, what used to piss me off was, these soap pump soap dispensers that you buy.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you'd never be able to get the stuff out of that because inevitably, hand soap.
Yes.
Right,
yes.
So you buy it, and then you get down, and there's like 10% left, where you just, you think, okay, what I'll do is I'll unscrew the lid, fill it up with a bit of water, give it a shake, and then I'll be able to use the last of the product. But no, as you say, they weld the lids in place.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there looking at this thinking, there's a good 20 hand washes still in there.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So now, and if you go onto Amazon, you can buy these massive pouches of hand wash.
Refills, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got like 2 litres in it. It's a massive, you don't want to drop it. If you drop that, oh my God, the carnage.
Alien, yeah.
Because it's quite like slippy, isn't it, hand wash? And it would be horrendous. But I buy that now. And then so you buy one of them a year, and that will literally keep every soap dispenser in the house full.
Oh, okay.
So it saves a lot of plastic waste.
Yes.
But
that is a good idea, but it doesn't help for the 37 different types of conditioner that I need.
No, and this is I think where you have picked up on something, is if these companies really, really cared about the environment, they would sell their product in big old pouches with a single practical dispenser.
Yeah. I mean, you could have that fixed on the wall in the bathroom then, couldn't you? Then,
like in a hotel.
Yeah, there you go. It is possible. So you just have to learn to decant your product then all the time.
But then it just goes to show that if it really was about protecting the environment,
of course
then that's what they would do. But really, they want to protect profits above anything else.
Definitely.
So,
and some companies are.
We can see you.
Yeah.
We know what you're all about. So stop. Just if you stop with all that then we'll just assume that you are out to make money, like most normal businesses. That's fine, it's cool. That's what a business is there to do. Yeah. But you can't have it both ways, can you?
No, just...
You can't give us shit bottles that don't work, that waste product.
Yeah. And so there are a couple of brands that do function, right? Actually, so moving on to out of the bathroom into the kitchen. Now you've got the spray stuff, cleaning the worktop, right? Disinfectant or whatever. Now those are all of those tall bottles, thin bottles with a squirty gun at the top.
Yeah.
Right?
Can I just do a sidebar here? We had our kitchen redone 2 years ago.
Right.
Anyone that's thinking about getting dark granite gloss work surfaces, don't.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Imagine, right, your work surfaces in your kitchen were mirrors, like literally mirrored.
Oh, really? Wow.
That's what it's like. So the tiniest speck of the granule of sugar or the slightest smear of anything, honestly, it is impossible. You will spend most of your life cleaning these bastard things. I rue the day that we ever decided to get polished granite work surfaces. So if you're thinking about doing it, don't.
Fair enough.
Awful idea. And I wish we'd been warned.
Well, yes. Now the population is. It's good to know. Yeah, I won't do that. Okay.
Sorry. Yes. Back to cleaning products. You were saying.
Yeah. So those squirty gun things at the top, right? Those are very heavy, and elaborate, and unnecessarily ornate, I think, in some cases.
Over-engineered.
Yeah. And then, so it's okay once you're at full bottle capacity. But, you use half the product, and now suddenly the top is heavier than it's top heavy, basically. And so, here we go again, falling over at the slightest breath of wind. And then the bloody things get stuck, or the spring sort of gums up or something, and it doesn't work anyway. And then it's got like an off-on twisty thing, and that never bloody works. Just like... Oh.
And they are definitely designed, so that there's a little pipe
tube,
that goes into the tube. That is, I reckon, designed not to get into the very bottom.
Oh, yeah, it's like an inch too short.
Yeah, guaranteed.
You have to sort of tilt it backwards or something, and just like, oh God. So so there are a couple of brands where they don't do that. I can't remember what they are, but and the bottle is sort of more conical, so that it's wide at the base and doesn't fall over, right? So I know it can be done. So all of these fucking brands where they deliberately make shitty shapes just to look good on the shelf. You got to stop it, right? You got to stop it. So, we're wasting our plastic world just on these stupid bottles. And, you put them in the recycling, but does that really work? I don't know.
Yeah. How about not making them in the first place? If all of these companies just said, here is your universal bottle that just works, right? It's just work. It's been perfectly designed. It's robust. Won't wear out. Maybe make it out of metal or something. Or, so it will last you.
Exactly.
And then you just buy the product in a fully recyclable bottle or a pouch, or but a big one. So you've only got to buy it once every 6 months or something.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that, would they? Tesco said, they would lose money in the end.
And that's the case. That really is what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it?
Exactly. You can
pretend to be conscious about the environment, but
you could have a soap man, right, who comes around with a big barrel.
Oh, like the old days where you used to have the bread man and
the drink.
We had a guy who used to come round with video cassettes in the back of his Ford Cortina. I shit you not.
Okay, is that just to your house, was it, or? No,
he used to do the whole estate. I I mean, it sounds dodgier than it actually was. I mean, they were just regular videos. There was nothing, unless he had certain things in the glove box for,
Yeah.
But nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Got anything new in, Dave? Got anything in the glove box for me?
Yes, I'm sure he did.
But everything was delivered to your door. Not to your door, literally, but they would just sort of rack up in your road, wouldn't they? Bread and bloody
ice cream.
Fruit and veg.
Yeah, milk.
Do you know something I learned, I think 3 days ago? It's amazing how you go through life and you just pick up these things. Did you know that the legal limit for ice cream chimes is 12 seconds now?
What?
You're only allowed to play your chimes, if you're an ice cream man or woman, for 12 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
Who came up with that?
Now, that enraged me. And I tell you why, because you think, of all the fucking things, all the noises that humans make.
Yeah, the ice cream isn't. Yeah.
Ice cream chimes, I think most of us would agree.
It's a pleasant sound.
It's a pleasant childhood thing, isn't it? It reminds you of, your youth.
Happier times.
Happy times and carefree times. And it's not as though you having an ice cream van driving past your house every 30 minutes, is it?
Yeah, well.
Playing up fucking green sleeves, doom, 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 doom. I mean, how about banning shit that actually is annoying?
Yes. Like assholes driving around with those stupid exhausts, the boy racers.
100%. Yeah. People with loud exhausts, people who decide that they want to drive past your house with their windows open and some awful excuse for music.
Yes, yeah.
There are a million different, as we were saying off air, people who have dogs that they allow to bark incessantly.
Yeah.
No one's banning them, are they?
No. The ice cream ban, though.
Why pick on the ice cream vendors?
That doesn't sound... There'll be these rebellion ice cream vans where they play for 30 seconds.
Here's one of those things as well, right? It's a law that it's a bit like a cookie notice on a website, isn't it? Who is actually checking?
Oh, there will be somebody, with the tweed suit. He's standing outside waiting with a notebook and a stopwatch.
I don't think they're tweed suits anymore. I think we've moved into a whole different realm of, because this was typically like the parish councillor type thing, wasn't it? That it would be the types to do this, but I think we've gone past that now. I think we're in a new age of people who want to just want to find outrage wherever they can.
Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah. People who wake
says
up
us doing a podcast which is called Middle Race.
Yeah, well, these are justified, right? I mean, plastic
indeed.
bottles in, that's.
I can't get outraged about, if an ice cream van pitches up outside my house and plays 14 seconds of green sleeves.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to be on the phone to the local council.
Esther Ransom.
If you got that reference, then you're definitely in our target demographic.
Yeah, I'm not even going to explain.
No.
Right. Good. Well, so yeah, the thing of my story is that I think we're wasting plastic and pretending to be environmentally friendly when we're definitely not. You need to step it up, soap companies, and make
conditioner companies.
Yes.
Shower gel.
All of those things, especially the kitchen ones. Make them stand up, make them deliver the product that they're supposed to deliver.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it, yeah. I mean, imagine if you bought a pint, but you couldn't, in the pub, you couldn't get the last inch out of the bottom.
Yeah.
And you brought it back to the bar and it's like, oh, yeah, well, you're not supposed to drink that bit, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Or you got to smash the glass.
Yeah.
You literally have to smash the glass to get it out.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, right? Or, yeah. So, come on.
Okay. I think we can all agree that is deeply enraging.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, let me pick. I'd like you to sort of picture the scene. So you're scrolling through Facebook, Twitter, whatever your social media of choice.
Right.
And you see an article that catches your eye. Right. Or the headline of an article.
A clickbait.
Sorry?
A clickbait.
A clickbait. Normally it's saying like, oh, I don't know, that kid you went to school with Scott Davies turns out to be the kingpin of a pedo ring.
Oh dear.
Something like that. And so you click through to, you click the link because you obviously want to know more.
Yeah.
And you land in the hellscape that is the local news website.
Oh dear. Right. Yes.
So if you're not aware of what the local news website is, I would just go and Google the county in which you reside and then the word live. So Essex Live, Surrey Live, whatever, and that will bring up your local news website. Mm-hmm. And these are all sort of fairly boilerplate in their design and layout and everything.
Yeah.
But they are the absolute hell. I mean, I don't even know where to, I'm so enraged by these fucking things. I don't even know where to start.
Yes. Yes. I suppose we should.
Should we start at the very beginning with the pop-ups? Because right. So first thing, you land and you get the ubiquitous cookie consent pop-up, which is now a fucking questionnaire.
Oh, those drive me. I mean, that is a whole other thing, isn't it?
We could do an episode on that.
Yeah, the cookies.
But they now want to know: do you want non-essential or essential?
Yeah. Who's gonna?
I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, none of them are essential.
Yes, exactly.
Now, occasionally, you'll get a website that goes just allow or deny.
They're rare.
Binary choice.
Yeah.
Click deny, live with that. But now, particularly these news websites, local news websites, they have, options. I don't want to be...
Yeah.
Who cares?
Just, how much bollocks do you want them to deal with?
Yeah, and they're very intrusive as well. Yeah. And I will say here, okay, so a bit of backstory. I, back in the day, spent over a decade designing websites, building websites. So
yeah.
I kind of know a little bit about what goes on to make these things.
Right.
But I always used to go off the premise that ultimately a website, the most important thing when you're designing a website is functionality and usability. And it has to be intuitive. It doesn't matter what it looks like. If it's not usable, then you can be the best designer in the world. It's a tool at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be. I mean, you visit the website to get some information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the job of the website is to deliver that information concisely, clearly, and intuitively. That's it.
Yes.
But whoever's designing these news websites clearly didn't take the same web design course as I did, or any type of web design course, or any type of course, I'm guessing. I suspect it's someone who's locked in an institution with a packet of crayons, because no fucking sane person would design such an abomination of a website that seems, best as I can tell, to have one function, and that is to piss off anyone that has the misfortune of stumbling upon it.
Yes.
Because you've got right, so you got your cookie. So you get through that.
Right.
And then the pop-ups, the real pop-ups will start. You get this thing in the browser, and I've noticed this becoming more and more of a thing. And it's at the top of your browser, it will say, so-and-so website wants to send you notifications.
Oh, yeah. God, that's, do not send me notifications. Can you imagine if you turned those all on?
Oh, because it's not just one website, is it? These things are more and more common, I'm noticing. And on commerce websites where you're buying stuff, you think, why do they need to send me notifications about a product that I might buy once in a lifetime?
Yeah.
I don't need them notifying me about stuff.
Same as it ever was.
Yeah. But then you've got two options. Ask me later.
Oof.
Or not now or something. It's what does that mean? How about just no? Never ask me again.
Ask me later. God, yeah.
It's like, can you imagine someone knocking on your door, on your front door, and saying, some guy's there, complete stranger, and says, Adam, will you give me 50 quid? And you're like, well, no. And he said, okay, fair enough. Shall I ask you later? Shall I pop back tomorrow?
Right.
How about, would you like to give me consent to knock on your window or your door or pop my head round the garden gate or whatever it is every fucking 10 minutes for the rest of your life?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Ask me later. No.
Oh, God. Bastards.
So there we are. So there's that. Right. And we haven't even gotten to the hub of the nub of this yet, which is when you actually get it. So you bear in mind that you landed on this website because there was something that you wanted to know about.
Yes.
And just trying to get to the information itself. Firstly, they'll take a 500-word article and they will split it into chunks of maybe one paragraph.
Yeah.
So paragraph 1, it will, and then you will, underneath that, there'll be an advert and a video. And this is another issue, is the
videos,
clickbait stuff.
Yes.
So there will be, were you aware that, and there will be a picture of an emaciated dog or something really, really like
horrific.
Yeah. And it'll go, were you aware that this new disease is killing dogs across the UK? Click here to find out more.
Yikes.
Talking of dogs, you can probably hear mine barking. I do apologize. If you want to find out the information, okay, first you've got to run this gauntlet of pop-ups and other pointless stuff. Then you've got to run through these various, and some of this stuff is like autoplay videos.
Yes.
So it just starts blaring, a video starts playing of God knows what, or an advert, and then another one will pop up in the corner. You shut that down, and before you're playing whack-a-mole with these various pop-ups, and you're still reading, so you're having to scroll and scroll. Yeah, it was another block of,
Yes.
It's just, they are unusable.
Yeah. The ones I've seen is where there's sort of all of these generic clickbait spam articles mixed in with the article that you're trying to read.
Exactly.
They're like videos and just junk crap and pictures of weird stuff, and it's hard to keep track then of what is actually the article you're reading and what is the junk that they're spamming you with. But then you scroll down, like even if you do find the whole article, you scroll down and there's like 10 more miles of these adverts over and over, and some of them they're just on repeat like 15 times. And I know that the news company, they're probably struggling to sell papers these days, right? Because who the bloody hell buys papers? But in that case, you're not going to make it up from 10,000 adverts on each page. I mean,
this is a conscious decision these companies have made.
Yeah.
And so there's one of two ways they could have gone. They could have gone, maybe they could have said, do you know what we're going to do? I remember back in the day, so I used to deliver a local paper back in the mid-'80s called The Courier. And 500 of these things would turn up on a Tuesday. Oof. And I'd sort of run them around the estate. But this thing was quite thick, and it was tabloid size, and it was a free one. So, yeah, there was adverts in it, without doubt. But, it was normally double glazing companies and,
carpet,
that sort of stuff. But there was at least news in it. Every page had some actual news that was written by a competent journalist. And was vaguely interesting. So it served a purpose. At some point, they've decided it's almost like a race to the bottom. It's like, okay, people don't want newspapers anymore, but they'd like having news. What can we give them? So would people be prepared to pay like a small subscription, £3-4 a month, for just a quality piece of news locally?
Yes.
Now, if people don't want that, then you have to say to yourself, well, do we need local news anymore?
Exactly, right. That's it. I mean, because... you could probably get 90% of it, but just scrolling on Facebook and people, other people who've written about it or whatever, or taken a photo of it, or So
most of it is out of date by the time it lands on the front page, and it's been done to death on a Facebook group or whatever. Yeah. So it does beg the question. Obviously, these people will have jobs, but
I mean, don't go into journalism because it's dwindling.
It's not you do wonder, don't you? Because it seems to me that now Are you a journalist if you work for a local rag? I'm sure there are still, and in fact, and I will come to the defence of some, because there are still some very good local newspapers that have resisted this to a degree. I'm not going to say they're all completely innocent, but there are some very good local newspapers that seem to be sort of hang on in there, and do a good job, and they do still employ good journalists and provide great content. So they're still out there, but there are a lot of these click farm sort of spammy, awful websites that pretend to be reputable local sources of news. And they are not. They are anything
absolutely not. Yeah.
And the worst thing is, these things are bad. If you stumble across one of these websites on a desktop PC or a laptop, that's bad enough. Do it on a phone.
Well, yeah, Christ.
Where you've got limited real estate, or screen space, and you've got these things they are unusable, and that's assuming it doesn't crash your browser right off the bat.
Yeah. So too much crap. You can't. Yeah, and at that point, if it's unusable, well, then it doesn't need to exist. Because I mean.
And how much money are they making from all this crap?
This is it, right? So there must be some figure somewhere. I mean, maybe it does work because they're still doing it. But seriously, who's reading through those clickbait ones and clicking on them? And so many of them.
I have noticed that the number of articles that are being produced by, I'm going to say local newspapers, they're not really, are they, anymore? But now they're pumping out articles at an unprecedented level. But when I say articles, this will be things like, I don't know, the headline will be "The Undiscovered Gem of a Restaurant in, whatever town it may be," or, people flock to these unknown attraction, and you know what I mean? It's really clickbaity sort of. They did. Okay, so there was one that was done by a local newspaper. Where we live, there is a pond. Now, I say it's about 6 miles away. Okay, it's a place called Frensham Ponds. Right. It's a lake. It's not a pond, right?
Right.
And it's surrounded by woodland, and it's actually got sand on the shores of it.
Okay.
Right. So lovely place. Okay. Brilliant place to walk, but it's sort of in the middle of nowhere-ish, and most of the locals know about it. If you go there in the summer, and I remember going there as a kid, and it was almost like being at the beach. So you had a nice clean pond, lake, and then you had a bit of sand on there.
Right.
Very, very pleasant. And then a couple of years ago, one of these news websites put this undiscovered gem of a thing on their website.
You bastards, yeah.
And then obviously but they put it on something like, I can't remember what the title was, but essentially it was there to encourage people from London, because it was like within the beach within 30-minute drive of London or something.
Oh, no.
They tagged it like that. Now this place has a car park, probably can hold 100 cars or something, which is fine for when you've just got the local people using it. On a hot summer's day, on a Sunday or weekend, when you've got suddenly 1,000 people down the A3,
okay,
you can imagine the carnage, because there's people just abandoning their vehicles on the verges, chewing up the verges. The amount of rubbish that was there, I mean, it was just disgusting, and it was all off the back of this one spammy article. So there's not even a degree of responsibility now, because they're pumping these things out without any real thought or to the the implications.
Yeah, that's not good.
And it's not news, is it?
Not really news, no. I mean, and probably there isn't even any businesses there to benefit from the punters.
An ice cream kiosk.
Yeah, it's only allowed to play music for 12 seconds.
But
it's a depressing state, isn't it? You feel sort of dirty after going to these pages.
You need a shower, but that doesn't help, does it? Because you just get angry in the shower.
Can't get the bloody shower gel out.
So the whole thing is infuriating.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I do understand that these companies have to make a living, but at the end of the day, you're not making a living anymore. There's no dignity in that.
No.
It's just stop it. please, for everyone's sake.
Absolutely. I can't imagine they're making proper money out of those bloody adverts anyway. Pennies, maybe. So,
Yeah. Well, there we are. So that is my. I feel suitably vented now.
Good stuff.
I'm going to go and write an article about it.
Ooh, yeah. Put it up on your website with 800 adverts on it. Lovely.
Excellent.
Well, fair enough.
Now we've got angry. I suppose we should.
Yes, have a little cleansing happy ending. This is our section where we talk about something that's made us happy over the last while. So my thing is that I'm getting one of my last book made into an audiobook, and the narrator has just finished actually all the chapters. So Mark Rice Oxley done an amazing job on my other books, and this one is absolutely stunning. He's gone, I don't know, he's pulled out all the stops. It's really, really good. So looking forward to getting that out there.
Do you going to tell anyone what it's called, or?
Well, it's the last book. It's 22 Frequency Shift.
Okay.
So that will be coming to you soon on audio.
I will say, actually, sorry to jump in on your happy moment.
Yeah.
But this is something that you just reminded me about. Is when people put a thing on like Twitter, like, oh, my new book is out, right? Or my new book is available for 99p. And then they don't put a link to it. And you think,
right, sorry.
Fuck's sake, right? Like, if you want to promote your book, fair enough. Got that, right? Mm-hmm. But don't make me have to go. I think I saw in one pub, someone said, well, you can just search for it. Well, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
And you've called it something like The Denial or some generic title. Right. There were like 95 fucking other books with the same name. Sorry, I'm re-engaging rage mode here.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Sorry.
I agree, yeah. So I was going to get to that, but yeah. So
okay.
2220. It's a bit of a mouthful, that title, but
looks good on paper though.
Yeah, I like it still, but it is a mouthful to say. Yeah, so let's just say 20.
What's it called again? Sorry, just in case anyone didn't catch it. 22 Frequency Shift. Could we have that in French?
No, we couldn't. Although, so I mean, that was a part of the thing, is that there is language in this book. There's different languages, and Mark has done just a stellar job of the languages and the accents and everything. So yeah, it's really good. Thanks, Mark, if you're listening, and it definitely made me happy.
Excellent. So my happy moment, really, it's primarily just finishing this fucking
Well, yeah,
I don't think, and I say finished because it's not finished, but I've got the basic story. The thing has a start and a middle and an end, so the whole thing is done.
Right.
And that in itself is a relief. There's still got to be bits and pieces done to it, but there is a sense of relief in actually having, because there are many, many times when you're writing a book, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, or certainly appreciate it, where you think, nah, I'm just going to bin this off. This is not going anywhere. Yeah. It's a terrible idea. It's going to be a terrible book. I don't see any possible way I'm going to be able to finish this.
Yeah.
Let alone turn it into something that people would be willing to pay for.
Right. And that is a horrible feeling, isn't it? Because you've already invested, 300 hours or whatever.
Exactly.
And it's in the bin.
Yeah.
It's just, that's horrible. That's so wasteful, and you just hate yourself, and yeah.
But I've done this now 18 times, and only once have I actually got to a point where I did give in. But really, that was my own stupidity rather than anything else. So, but every single book I've ever written, I've had multiple periods during that book where thinking, this is such a terrible idea. But inevitably, then you start the next book, and you're sat there all excited and go, yeah, this is going to be the one where I don't feel that way. Yeah. Because I know it's always the next book, isn't it? It's always, I've got the next one hots for this one.
Yeah, yeah.
This is going to be the one that I just steam through, and no doubts, and everything will just fall into place beautifully. And I don't, all the plotting will go well. And inevitably, 2 months in, you're sat there in your underpants staring at a blank screen, just go, fuck this. I hate this thing.
Yes.
But you fight a way through. So my happy ending is literally a happy ending. No, not literally. I mean, it
No
is
spoilers.
finishing a book. It's having a completed book that actually makes sense, that people can read, and there is a story, and it all sort of bolts together. And it
does. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm happy that is now behind me until I start again next month.
Right. Are you taking some time off, or are you just going to steam in?
No, I think I'm going to steam in on this one.
Fair enough.
If I stop for too long, you sort of get, I don't know about you, but I fall out of the groove a bit. And then
Definitely.
It's what I call the sort of winter lawnmower syndrome, where you leave your petrol lawnmower in the garden, in the garage or the shed over winter, and then you're trying to start it in the spring, that first cut. And it's,
you got to go clean it out.
Trying to get the fucker to go again.
Top up the oil and
Yeah. Well, I now have an electric with rechargeable stuff, so I haven't got to deal with that crap anymore.
Is it a robot? No, does it?
No, it's not. I did think about getting a robot one because I detest lawn mowing. But I think the reason I detest it so much is because I'm a bit anal about it. I have to trim the edges with scissors.
Oh, really? Jeez.
It has to look right. And if I didn't care, then I'd just let it grow. But I have a sort of OCD over it. It has to be, squared off. All the edges need to be neat. And a robot won't do that. It'll just...
Right. Yes. Yeah, fair enough. Well, garden party at yours then.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's just to hope that the ice cream man doesn't come past.
Fair enough.
Bastard 14 seconds of Edelweiss or Pop Goes the Weasel.
Good stuff.
Shout out to all the ice cream men and women out there. We love you, and
play it
fuck
long.
the system.
Definitely. All right. Well, I think that's done, isn't it? It's,
we are raged out,
rocking and rolling. So just have to say, you can follow us on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, and on Facebook. And I have no idea what the URL is, but it's probably Facebook.com middle rage. So
it is. It's just
like
/ middle rage. Weirdly, we were able to secure all the various. Nobody come up with middle rage, so we've stolen it. So anyway, if you just Google us, you'll find
just
us.
Search for it. Just search it. Fine.
Fucking lazy bastards. Expect us to do all the work.
Yeah, Christ. And of course, if you like this sort of thing and you want to, then go to buymeacoffee.com / middle rage.
I am going to say now, actually, and this is something we forget to say every time, is all of these links are, because we're not hypocrites, all of the links are actually in the do we call them show notes?
Show notes, yes, in the pod. HTML.
So all of the links are in there, so there we go. So we're not hypocrites, so we do put links there. So I don't know why we're telling you, really. It's all there. We're just repeating ourselves ad infinitum.
So there you go. Find it.
Till next time.
Yep. Have fun, rock and roll, and keep being enraged.